And Simon is set up to the oche just as he would normally do. Now Simon, what I'd like you to do is to look straight down at the SightRight and tell me, what do you see?
There's a broken line.
And how are those lines broken?
There's ones to the right and the bottom ones to the left.
Now looking at where you're standing, I would probably say it's the top one that is crossing the bottom one to the right.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is, don't move your body, just turn your head to the right until you can see both those lines joined up.
It's better, but I still struggle.
So you'd still know to go further. Now just lean over a little bit further now. Now what we can see
That's
is
straight now.
Okay, so what we can see is the level of correction that Simon has had to go through to sight perfectly at the centre line of the dartboard. Now clearly we wouldn't have Simon playing like that, but we'll deal with that as we move through this session. So here we have a view of Simon in his normal position at the oche, and you can see from the picture that he's off to one side. So Simon, what I'd like you to do now is to come into your shot sighting perfectly using SightRight for the centre line of the dartboard. And as you come in, I'd like you to turn your foot more. All right, we've seen many top players do this. That's it. Again, looking at Simon's foot, I've asked him to turn it more side on, which enables him to bring the shoulder and the throwing arm in front of his eyes. So by turning his foot side on, this has enabled Simon to bring his shoulder and throwing arm into the front of his eyes. Simon, how does that feel?
A lot squarer, and it feels like I'm actually looking through the centre of the triple 20.
Okay. So now we have Simon in his corrected position at the oche, sighting perfectly to the centre line of the dartboard. The one thing that we will start to see is that the darts will start to go in much straighter on the centre line.
Right, Steve, after throwing sighted, what do you make of my darts now?
Well, a couple of things that have happened really. Point one is that your darts have gone into the board straighter.
Yeah.
And in actual fact, more to the centre line. Okay, and two, if we turn around and look at it by comparison to your previous position, where your darts would have gone in across the dartboard like that, if we now take that to the doubles, from your previous position, your double 10 standing off to the left of the oche would have been a further throw, needing more weight, than your double 16.
So I'd have been throwing closer here and
further to the 10.
And an angle that blocked the bed, possibly.
Yeah, and possibly you see your double 10 would have gone in at that angle.
So had it missed the double 10, I would have had to reposition on the oche.
And that's a bit of an exaggeration, but for example, if you're here, then you've virtually blocked up your double 10.
So when I'm throwing for doubles, I don't move from a new sighted position.
No.
So how does my body react to difference in the board? How is that going to?
So I can understand that, and that's quite a big objection by some people. So let's recap. First, we actually even up the bias. We make sure that there's perfect weighted throws to both sides of the dartboard.
So the same distance.
Same distance.
Yeah.
And then secondly, when we're actually going for a double, it's a bit like again the marksman with the gun. We don't actually have to move. We just simply pivot on our hips.
So by moving my eyes to the target, my hips will naturally pivot to my new target.
Everything will follow. And again, if you look at the real top players, you'll see those with more accurate vision doing exactly what I'm asking you to do.
So should we have a look at how that works out?
That would be good.
Okay.
Shooting at double 16. Now notice how the darts are not blocking the bed. They've gone in perfectly straight. Okay, so now from the sight-righted position, Simon's going to go to the symmetrical opposite side of the board at the double 15. And just look at the straight flight of darts, where you can see that the bed has not been blocked at any time. So now we're going to see Simon from the centred sight-righted position show us the pivot that he will need to make to go to the double 16, the double 15. So Simon, I'd like you to take centre view first of all. So this is to the treble 20. Now I'd like you to take your aim to the double 16. And watch Simon's shoulders pivot to the left. Now go back to the centre line treble 20. And again, we've seen that small pivot. Now go down to the double 15. And again, such ease of change of aim, just like the marksman with the rifle. Thank you. So, as the best player of all time said to me, SightRight gives a player an unfair advantage, and I guarantee it will for you too. Thank you.